Hello and welcome to the latest issue of MTG Reads. I'm DP, author, MTG fan and voracious reader, here to guide you to some of the best of the written word in MTG in the past week. Now, in the last week we have seen the release of Double Masters and we've seen a surprise set of bannings that's caused outrage on both Twitter and on YouTube content creators. But of the 150 articles that have been written, there doesn't seem to have been that same outrage. In fact, when we take a look at Annelli's article on Cool Stuff Inc., he looks at Double Masters in a very positive light. He's looking at the art, he's looking at the flavour of them, and reading into some of the background of many of the cards. And he finishes with 5 points about saving money. In an article where normally people would be complaining about the cost of the cards, Jay goes on to 5 sensible, applicable points, not the sort of, well, buy them a little bit later, buy them after a week after release when prices dropped. No, he's got much better advice on how to save money when taking a look at things like master releases. His point is, there have always been expensive things, there always will be expensive things that nobody can afford other than a privileged few, so here's how to deal with it. But if you think that's a surprising take about Double Masters and the cost, then actually much more surprise is to be had over in Legacy. Both Andreas Reling at Card Market and Joe Dyer at MTG Goldfish have written articles about the ascendancy of the Ninja deck within Legacy. Both of them have got articles that read not only very strongly about Legacy, but also read across to other formats, particularly Andreas Reling's article, whereas Joe's article, which focuses much more on the Legacy deck, also has a look and a nod towards the impact of the bans and, much more interestingly, potential bans that could come in. And talking of bans, Jamie Lovett over at comicbook.com has written a very short, succinct argument on why we've seen so many bans of late and why that's a good thing. Now, it is a short article. It's not as succinct as Nick Price's article about Yorion over at TCG Player, which I'll put in the links down below. But it is a very short argument looking at the impact of Arena and, most importantly, the increase in the amount of competitive play. It's a well-argued piece, even being succinct as it is, and is well worth your time to take a look at the impact of Arena. But what about the impact of those bans? Well, Adam Hernandez over at TCG Player, known as Yeoman5, he argues that the outcome of these bans is a very positive thing, that what we're seeing here is an opening out of the mid-game, that no longer is standard a rush to see who can get to their combo or endgame piece, but is in fact now a much more open game and more enjoyable for standard. So he sees this as very much a positive thing. So whilst Wizards' actions regarding standard are being viewed positively, they're still slightly under the cosh regarding their handling of Commander. They are printing quite a lot of 4 Commander cards, both within the Commander products and within the standard sets, that are having an impact and power creep within Commander. Well, one of the best people that could talk about that is Bennie Smith, author of the very first Commander book and was for many years the only Commander book, until obviously that one there. But Bennie writes over at Star City Games. His article was written about 10 days ago, but it actually popped out from behind the Star City Games delay wall and is available for everybody to read now. In that article, he takes a look by each Commander release and also from the standard releases over the past 18 months or so of what mistakes and positive things Wizards has done for Commander. He's taking a look at the number of cards they've produced, the number of mistake cards that they have made, the number of designers and the amount of effort that has gone into it, and he's graphing all of this out, doing a fair bit of analysis into seeing how good or bad a job Wizards is doing. Bottom line is he thinks they're doing a fairly good job. He thinks Commander products are scoring sort of 97% and Standard products 95%. So he views that Wizards is doing a good job that could do better. So that wraps up the articles for the week. Is one piece of news. I've just come across another MTG book been announced. This one is Planes of the Multiverse, a visual history that's due out in July of next year, July 2021. The first visual history book, as you know, I wasn't that impressed with. The second one is due out in October and I hold slightly higher hopes for it. We'll see how that goes, and that should give us a good indication of how good the Planes of the Multiverse version will be next year. That's about it for this week. If you enjoyed it, please give a thumbs up so I know I'm not just chatting to myself, and you could consider subscribing. All of the links to the articles are down in the notes below this, and I will be back again next week with more on the latest in the MTG world. But until then, happy reading.